Are you mad?
Let's just get into it. Pigskin Politics, Episode 3. I suppose you got a topic.
Yes, I do. I want to talk about are mobile quarterbacks really the future of the NFL? And we're here to tell you, I think they are.
Given what we've talked about prior to this take, I'd have to agree with you.
Okay.
You got some stats? Let's get into it.
Before we get into anything, there was a video on YouTube about Tim Hasselback talking about Lamar Jackson and him being reckless along with other mobile quarterbacks. I'll just play the audio for you and break it down.
All right.
That's what I mean. My bigger concern, Greeny, to be quite honest with you, is number of hits. When you look at 176 carries and you look at 23 sacks, you're talking about basically 200 hits, and that's not, including the plays where he's hitting the football. To put that into context, that's more than 50 more times than Josh Allen, who gets hit too much. That's more than 70 times more than Deshaun Watson, who gets hit way too much. He had more carries last year than Alvin Kamara, Melvin Gordon, Kenyon Drake. Those are starting running backs. He's carrying the football too much as a quarterback, in my opinion, to have longevity, at the position in terms of the way he's been.
You heard that right.
Okay.
He said 176 carries, 23 sacks, and then said that's basically 200 hits. A carry doesn't imply a hit. A carry is a carry.
What this guy did is just added up carries and translated it to hits. But here's the thing. There is a video on YouTube right now. It's a 31-minute long video.
I'm guessing you watched that.
I watched this entire video and I took tally. It's every single Lamar Jackson carry this year.
Yeah.
And the tally is Lamar Jackson on 176 carries. He was hit, or contacted at least, 73 times. And when I say contacted, I mean tackled. I mean anytime he dove down and someone just touched him to down him.
Any minimal contact you counted.
Any minimal contact. Anytime he got tripped up from behind.
Okay.
He was actually only tackled 52 times.
So that blows that 200 hits thing out of the water.
Yeah.
Dude, he lied.
I mean, as soon as that guy said that, I already knew it was bullcrap. The Kansas City game, he had a walk-in touchdown. The Niners game, he had a walk-in touchdown. That 47-yard scramble, the spin move in Cincinnati, walked in untouched. And then against New England, he pranced in for a touchdown, completely untouched. I know he didn't get hit 200 times. He's just trying to make it seem like mobile quarterbacks it makes it way easier for a person to get hit. But
Lamar Jackson specifically, and frankly, it comes down to Lamar Jackson's clickbait right now.
It's not just Lamar Jackson that's a good mobile quarterback, though.
But it sounds like Lamar Jackson is clickbait. They're just playing on that. An MVP candidate, it makes sense that if you are carrying the ball so much, you get injured. But mathematically, it doesn't pan out, does it?
I mean, if you look at Alex Smith and how bad he broke his leg and couldn't walk, and then you get Patrick Mahomes got hurt in the pocket this year, and Tom Brady got hurt in the pocket, Joe Flacco got hurt in the pocket, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Big Ben, Derek Carr, Drew Brees, Andy Dalton, Ryan Tannehill, Andrew Luck, Jay Cutler, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Mitch Trubisky, Joe Theismann, Trevor Siemian, Dan Marino, Tony Romo, Carson Wentz, and Sam Bradford all got hurt in the pocket. And then when people use an example of how Lamar is going to get hurt, they use RG3 and Cam Newton, and I go, that's all you got? Those are the only two examples you can give me, is just Cam and RG3? I mean, I can already tell you Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Colin Kaepernick, Tyrod Taylor are among very good mobile quarterbacks. I mean, Colin Kaepernick isn't in the NFL, but that's for different reasons. But
yeah, don't add that in the comments. No Kaepernick crap.
You don't give a shit. But anyway, you can be a good mobile quarterback, but it's got to be a specific type of mobility. You know what I mean? It can't be like Josh Allen or Cam Newton where you just run straight into a brick wall and get hurt.
You got to be smart about it.
You got to run out of bounds. You got to dive, and if you use this in your offense, it can open more things up. It can open more shots downfield because if Lamar is going to go hand off the ball and you bite on him giving it to the running back, he could scoop that out, and if he gets that edge, he's gone for 10 yards.
Hell, even if you think he's going to run more often than not, all it takes is one fake handoff, you bite, and even if you aren't as accurate as a passer as other quarterbacks, guess what? It doesn't matter how accurate you are if they are all open because all the cornerbacks bit. You'll hit them for a long bomb. That happened week 1 against Miami.
Honestly, what's the difference between standing in the pocket and getting hit or taking off and getting hit? It's still getting hit.
Hits just...
You can't predict an injury, man. It happens. I just named off like 50 freaking pocket passers that have been hurt in the NFL, and some have really bad injuries.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 52 sacks, that means 58% of the time, man. He's not even getting touched. 58% of his carries, he's not even getting hit. Like, why don't you bring that up, Tim Hasselback? And, I mean, he did bring up his sacks. He did get sacked 23 times, but that's 7th best in the NFL, man. Why are you acting like that's a bad thing?
I mean, by definition, being mobile means he gets sacked at less of a number than the rest. I mean, shit.
That's a good thing. He literally just added the 2 numbers up and was just like, oh, yeah, it's a bad thing. You got hit more than this guy and this guy and this guy.
Yeah, got it.
But it's a lie. In fact,
it opens up offenses so freaking much. Like, let's be honest. Say you're running a designed RPO, okay? And you know the defenders are going to bite. On a typical quarterback sneak, you're lucky if you got a couple of the wide receivers blocking. But if you know, say, Jackson is going to go, the offensive linemen are ready, running backs ready, you could have, rather than 5 blockers just on the line, you could have a design play of about 10 blockers.
yeah.
It can open up an offense
much.
extremely. And if you run that enough times, like I said earlier, then defenses will expect it, opens them up for a pass, deep frickin' play.
It happened all the time. Like, I would not be surprised if Kyler Murray won MVP this year, man. I would not be surprised if the Cards were good this year because of the mobility in Kyler Murray.
Well, let's be honest. Mobile quarterbacks haven't, they've always been taking notice. Let's be real. The first real mobile quarterback anyone can think of, Michael Vick. Yeah. And he turned the NFL on its head, just him.
I mean, Randall Cunningham.
But
whatever, but...
Michael Vick was crazy. His highlight reels were insane.
Yeah.
But it was mostly like just him. He was the big thing. Then I kind of feel like he was before his time. I even feel like Russell Wilson, Kaepernick, 2 very successful quarterbacks, just a little bit before their time.
Right.
Because you look at this year, a lot of success stories came from being very mobile quarterbacks. Lo and behold, the MVP and the Super Bowl winning quarterback were both very mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
A lot of the playoff teams, very mobile quarterbacks, even young quarterbacks. Almost like, and ones we know aren't even that accurate. It's just the capacity to run took them to another level.
Why are you criticizing him running so much if it's working? I mean, 176 carries and he had 1,200 yards and he didn't even play in 2 games statistically. He took week 17 off. They were blowing teams out so bad he took 5 quarters off, basically, because he took the 5th quarter off, or 4th quarter off. What the hell am I saying? Anyway, why are you acting like it's a bad thing if it's working?
The main thing I kind of wonder about that is, I can understand the argument of, you're running more, you're taking more unnecessary risk, you get hit more. You can't plan for injuries. They're just a thing that can happen. It's not necessarily guaranteed.
It happens to everyone in the NFL, man.
Or it doesn't. You just can't predict.
People act like it's a bad thing.
As long as you're smart about it, dive down, run out of bounds, you mitigate hits, you mitigate injuries. That is something you can statistically see.
Yes. I can already tell you off the top of my head, Lamar Jackson running, just putting the team on his back and running. He won basically the Niners game, the Seahawks game, and the Cardinals game. If it wasn't for him taking off and running, they probably wouldn't win those games.
Or maybe not.
I mean, that's 14
it's another
wins
level.
down to 11, man.
It's another level, and it comes down to what we're saying. That might very well be the next thing. And as the NFL has gone over the history of it, I mean, there's always something that just shakes it up. It's very run heavy, and then bam, now it's really pass heavy, and now everyone goes really pass heavy, bam, it's really defense heavy. It always shifts. There's always a paradigm change. Mobile quarterbacks might just be the next thing.
But you have to be good at what you do if you're a mobile quarterback. You have to be a very good and smart runner. You can't just go, hey, I'm Tom Brady. I'm just going to run it up the A-gap because I'm a mobile quarterback.
Walk slowly up the A-gap.
No, you
Tom
can't
Brady.
do that. You have to, get the edge, run out of bounds, dive down. I think there was only of those 52 tackles he got tackled, I think only 10 of them were a good hard tackle, and only of those 10, only 5 of them maybe were you shouldn't be taking a hit. In the Jets game, he got popped pretty good. In the Browns game, he got popped pretty good. But other than that,
well, not only that, let's
Shut up.
just look at it mathematically. Anyone on defense, running backs and wide receivers, just statistically will take more hits than the quarterback.
that's offense.
I said defense, all defenders initiate the tackle. My point is, if it's the hit that's the injury factor, why are you saying, oh, those guys will get injured? You don't know. It all comes down to chance.
Honestly, yeah. Like I said, dude, what's the difference between standing in the pocket and getting smoked and taking off and getting smoked? I'd almost argue that running forward and getting hit by someone also running towards you and getting tackled from behind would mitigate getting hurt more often than just standing there and just getting blindsided.
Like momentum. Yeah.
Joe Theismann got blindsided and freaking broke his leg so freaking bad he never played again. Joe Flacco got blindsided and he tore his ACL and he was never the same again, man.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think you're making really good points, dude. I think just mobile quarterbacks, they're kind of hated on just because it's easy to get clickbait views because there's a lot of hate on...
There's a lot of hate
not
on
just
Lamar,
them
man.
and Lamar.
There's a lot of hate on Lamar, and I hate
and
it.
I get it, okay? But maybe they're just a bit ahead of the curve.
Maybe. Him, Russell, Kyler, Kaepernick.
I mean, hell, Marino. Really, really pass-heavy, right? He threw a 5,000-yard year before most teams threw a 4,000-yard year. He was just ahead of the curve. Teams that find the next good thing exhibit success. And all I'm saying is it makes sense that if you run a lot with your legs as a quarterback, you'll burn yourself out quicker, The average shelf life of running backs, wide receivers is longer than that of quarterbacks. But you know what? If the quarterbacks are putting in more effort with them legs, even if they reduce their overall average shelf life by, say, 5 years, if you're getting more of an impact out of those years when you're doing it, justify the means. You got it.
I mean, if Russell Wilson only lasts 10 years and he wins 3 Super Bowls, who cares? I think that's a success. If Lamar
only
only lasts
3 years and you win 3 Super Bowls, I'd be like, fantastic.
I'd say 10 years in the NFL is that's some longevity success, man.
Hell, Mahomes is a freaking marble quarterback, and he, on his second starting year, is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I wouldn't say he's mobile on
it helps
those guys, but he does get first downs from running.
Yeah.
Brady doesn't do that crap. He runs and drops the football in Philly specials.
I'm right there with you, man.
All right. Well, that'll about do it.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
I mean, what could be worse,
I mean, the sock puppet intro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, later.